Now, I absolutely love Rubin Colwill, so I'm pretty devastated that the ankle injury that he sustained against Northampton looks like it's going to keep him out for months rather than weeks. I think he is excellent, and I'm so pleased that he's found a manager and, let's be honest, a level in League One where he's been able to regain his confidence and show what he can do. But it's a big miss for Cardiff City. On this video, we're going to take a look at Cowwell, what he brings to the table, and how Cardiff will approach replacing him and his output, because this is a really interesting next month or two for Cardiff City. They've been impacted by the international break so far, with so many of their players representing Wales at various levels. And so they've got matches to catch up on. They've got games in hand to catch up on. Not only that, they've got a home game against Chelsea in the Carabao Cup. They've got a knockout game in the Trophy as well in early December. And the quirks of the schedule mean that they've got 7 of their next 9 games at home. It's a Cardiff side that have started the season well and could go on a run in the next 2 months to establish themselves at the top of League One, which is basically begging for a team to grab it by the scruff of its neck. And Cardiff are a good option for that. But they'll miss Cowwell in so many facets. He is a standout player in his position at this level. His ball carrying is exceptional. And it's not just the way that he carries Cardiff up the pitch. It's not just the way he can dribble past defenders against low blocks and open up attacks, but it's also just because players like him have attacking gravity. They draw defenders to them, and that creates space for his teammates as well. He has been League One's premier creative player in open play this season per Opta Analyst, the most chances created in open play per 90 in the whole league, and he has such composure on the ball as well. And let's not forget those free kicks that he scored this season. So clearly, his absence leaves a bit of a hole. Now, in terms of a replacement, what's remarkable is I thought this was going to be difficult for me to work out, but I actually think that in Chris Willock, Cardiff basically have a player who is most similar to Cowell and has such a similar level of quality to Cowell in similar ways that across the whole of League One, I actually couldn't pick a better Rubin Colwill replacement than Chris Willock, who's already in the building. Now, of course, they've been playing together this season, and Willock nominally playing off the left wing. But Cowell and Willock, let's be very clear, they do broadly similar things at a very high level, and they do them from broadly similar areas of the pitch. If you look at their touch maps and heat maps for the whole season, you'll find that they both like to occupy that left half space. Whether Cowell plays 10, he likes to drift left. If Willock plays in the number 10 role, he will also drift left. And so I do think that is, as replacements for Cowell go, a pretty simple one and should be a good one, because Willock can carry the ball really well in tight spaces. He's a very, very good creative player and a good creative passer. He's very composed on the ball, happy slowing things down and building possession and combining with players, particularly out wide, but also happy when he needs to move forward with the ball, and very, very, very deadly from 15 to 20 yards, as we've seen this season. Defensively, I don't think there's a great difference. I don't think out of possession work is a strength of either of these players. But I think actually, if you look at the stats this season, surprisingly to me anyway, Willock's made more tackles than Cowell, and basically his defensive actions, he's been busier than Cowell has this season. So they shouldn't lose too much on that front. Now, I think that Willock should play number 10 in Cowell's absence, but there are other options, of course. If you want to try and add a bit more bite inside the opposition box, add more goal threat rather than maybe creative threat, they could try Callum Robinson in a second striker role and play more of a 4-4-2. If Cardiff think they can still control the ball as they like to do under Barry Murphy with the midfielders that they have, then that could be an option, just to see if they can retain the level of control, but maybe add even more finishing ability essentially inside the opposition box. That could be an interesting way of looking at it. They've obviously got Alex Robinson back from injury, which means in terms of central midfielders and number 8s, they're pretty well stocked now. They've got Wintle, who's sitting at the base very nicely. They've got Turnbull, they've got Robertson, and they've got Joel Colwill as well, who's doing a lot from a box-to-box role. So I'm not that concerned for Cardiff when it comes to people playing in the number 10 and number 8's role here. It's just in wide areas now that I look and I think, well, they still need to get more from their wide forwards, and they're all pretty young players. Kellyman, Isaac Davis, Kian Ashford, all of these guys have shown flashes of quality and clearly are players with decent attributes, but aren't providing it consistently enough. And so I think a big thing for Cardiff isn't necessarily replacing Colwill's output, which I think they can do with Willock. It's who's going to provide the kind of secondary and third options in those attacking wide areas, and that's going to be a big thing for Barry Murphy to work out. If Cardiff have a drop in form, I want to make the point that I don't think it'll just be down to Colwill's absence. And if they do have a drop in form, that might be pointed at as a reason for it. And it'll be it'll be an obvious thing to point at. But I'm going to say it in case it does happen, and you heard it here first. They've got other issues at the moment, and there's some aspects of the performance that I'm more concerned about than Colwill's absence. And it's the defence, basically. Obviously, they've won a lot of games this season, and there have been games where Cardiff have been so good going forward that they've managed to win 3-1 and high-scoring games like that. And it could be the case that if they improve even further in attack, they can literally just blow teams away every single game and turn them into basketball matches. But I've been a bit uneasy about how open they've been in recent games. Obviously, losing against Bolton, only the one shot on target faced, but they were pretty open in that game. Anyone that watched it knows. They were very open against Blackpool when they got punished for that. And even in beating Northampton 3-1, well, Northampton are one of the worst attacking teams in the league, and they managed 15 shots in Cardiff's box in that game. So I am worried about Cardiff defensively, and I want to make that clear. If they don't sort that out and they don't tighten up and they continue to give up as many chances as they have to their opposition, without Colwill, that could be a bad combination. If they keep conceding 1 or 2 goals a game and they're not scoring as much at the other end, then obviously poor results are going to follow. So they need to sort that out. I wonder what they'll do in January. Obviously, it was a summer window where Barry Murphy didn't bring in that many players, but I'm sure he'll have the authority now to do so if he feels that it's necessary. And in that attacking midfield, wide areas, just a few names that spring to mind based on the sorts of players that Barry Murphy likes to work with. Someone like Miles Pert-Harris, who's currently playing for Brentford B, has played Championship football, was actually on loan at Swansea last season, but I think being a top-level League One player could be good for him, and he'd be a great option in that Colwill role in the number 10. Alex Gilbert at Middlesbrough is being completely unused at the moment. Another young attacking midfield type. Went up with Charlton last season on loan and could add plenty. And then Jan Poveda, bit of a wild card, a wonder kid when he was younger, but Barry Murphy will know all about him from working at Manchester City, where Poveda spent a number of years. He showed flashes whenever he's played, but hasn't been able to nail down a kind of consistent level at Championship level. Is currently not involved with Sunderland in the Premier League, and I do wonder if Barry Murphy's the type of manager that might tempt Poveda down to League One. And if he does do that, and if he can stay fit, he's got the quality to provide plenty, probably off the right side of the attack. So really interesting team right now, Cardiff City, in a strong position in the league. Second in the League One with games in hand. They will certainly feel confident of getting above Stevenage at some point, who currently top the division. They've got these cup games as well over the next 2 months. They've got all these home games. Maybe they should get on a run and have a really good time over the festive period. But there's enough in there. There's enough challenges for Barry Murphy. There's enough things for him to solve that I don't think it's going to be straightforward for them. What do you think, Cardiff fans? In the comments, let us know. We've been focused recently on the Newport and Swansea managerial situations, but we'll be covering Cardiff City very closely on the DragonSports channel in this next few months. And it'd be great to hear from you. How do you think things are going? What do you make of Colwill's absence? And what do you make of my thoughts on the video? Let us know in the comments. Subscribe to this channel and head to dragonsports.co.uk for all the best Welsh sports news.